Okay, glitch trap is not there.
Protesters were killed and many more arrested. The regime succeeded in putting down the uprising.
Here we go.
Ali recorded his anger at the police's
I wonder what
reaction
movie my
in his
dad's watching.
conversation outside a police station.
Okay.
Soon after this was recorded, Ali was arrested. He was charged with numerous offences, including throwing a Molotov cocktail and organising protests by text message. His family say he was tortured into confessing.
اتصل علي من الرياض، سمحوا له بالاتصال وقال حد الحرابة. علي طفل صغير سألني بابا ايش حد الحرابة؟ علي سألني ايش حد الحرابة بابا؟
The punishment for treason is beheading.
He died.
Followed by the public.
Phone dude is dead. Chica's right there.
But some felt Ali was being
Fuck, she's
punished
living pretty
because
still
of
on
this man.
stage.
Sheikh Nimr was Ali's uncle. He was seen as the spiritual leader of the protests.
نحن على امتداد 100 عام نعيش ظلم وجوع وخوف وترهيب، لا نخاف الموت ونعشق الشهادة.
عن صعب عليه دايما نهار الفكرة لا يغيب عن بالي، على طول الفكرة عليه موجود في بالي، على طول لساني ينهج في الدعاء إليه، في الخرج إليه، أشياء كثيرة في البيت يعني يا علي، كل البيت أصلا يعني يا علي.
The British government says it has lobbied to spare Ali the death penalty. But in September 2015, Ali's death sentence was confirmed, with no more chance to appeal. In the same week, it was revealed Saudi Arabia the wife of Raif Badawi, the blogger sentenced to 1,000 lashes, is in Strasbourg to collect an award on his behalf. It's good for her campaign, but the review of Raif's case in the Saudi courts has not gone well.
رايح تتنقل إلى سجن ثاني، السجن الثاني هذا اللي نقل فيه ما يكون فيه إلا شخص منتهي. كان خبر جدا سيء، أنا قلقانة كثير على صحته.
In response to his appeal being denied, she says Raif has begun a hunger strike.
Oh yeah, that's
خبرتهم إنه نقل سجن بس ما خبرتهم. حرام يعني أولادي تعبوا من كثر ما هم يتلقوا أخبار، يعني حرام سنهم فقدوه بسبب إنهم يتلقوا أخبار أكبر من سنهم. مجرد ما إني أشوف أولادي كمان يعطوني القوة، يعطوني كمان الأمل. المعاكس للموضوع رايد إنه بعيد عن أولاده، والحكم اللي صدر ضد كان حكم كثير قاسي.
For more than 70 years, Saudi Arabia has been Britain and the West's key ally in the Arab world. The government says they've kept us safe by sharing intelligence and helping us fight terrorism and foil attacks. Since David Cameron's government came to power, we've sold Saudi Arabia more than £5 billion of weapons.
Saudi Arabia has been a very important partner. We've got our oil from them, we've sold weapons technology to them, and they have been an ally in providing intelligence about local Al-Qaeda activities. There's an irony there, and that is because actually Al-Qaeda stands for an extreme interpretation of Wahhabi Salafism, which is the official religion of Saudi Arabia, and which there's been spreading around the world since 1979. So there's ambivalence to that relationship.
The Saudis have spent at least $70 billion spreading Wahhabi Islam around the world. But they've always denied any official link to terrorism.
Well, I'm screwed.
And are now preparing to send troops to fight against ISIS in Syria.
I'm screwed. I died.
But evidence has come to light related to the most high-profile terror attack of all. 15 of the 19 hijackers on 9/11 were Saudi citizens. Osama bin Laden himself came from a prominent Saudi family. It prompted the United States to investigate Saudi links to terrorist organizations.
There were individuals within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, some of them prominent citizens, some of them people with ties to the royal family, who were funneling funds to all kinds of activities. We saw tremendous amounts of money were going to promote a Wahhabi variation of Sunni Islam. And that led to, I think, mostly unintended consequences, but they should have been recognizable consequences.
According to US government documents we've obtained, a pattern emerged of Islamic charities supporting terrorism. The CIA reported that governments in the Islamic world had supported the charity's religious activities, but were unable to monitor them or how their money was used. The name of one charity came up repeatedly: the Saudi High Commission for Bosnia and Herzegovina. It was set up in Sarajevo by Saudi Arabia and provided more than £300 million in aid.
Significant state-funded charity, and it was tied in certain instances to financing terrorism, in particular in Bosnia, for example. There were people within this institution who were funneling funds to terrorist groups at the time.
But more than allegations of passing on money, we found evidence that the Saudi High Commission was providing employment and cover for terrorists. Inside this New York courthouse are boxes of evidence for a case brought by the families of 9/11 victims against the Saudi government and the Saudi High Commission. The families are currently appealing their case after it was dismissed last year on the grounds of sovereign immunity. Among the material is this tape, recorded testimony from a convicted Al-Qaeda terrorist. It's never before been broadcast. This is Ali Hamad, a jihadi who fought with the Mujahideen in Afghanistan and Bosnia. He alleges he and others were employed by the Saudi High Commission, and that local officials at the charity knew that he was linked to Al-Qaeda. He says Bosnia was seen as a crucial foothold in Europe for Al-Qaeda to plan future attacks. Hamad was later involved in setting up a car bomb in Bosnia in 1997 after the war had ended. It was apparently designed to kill non-Muslims and reignite the fighting there. Documents obtained by lawyers for the 9/11 families also reveal Washington knew about the charity's direct links to terror. But it was only after 9/11 that action was taken.
NATO's heightened state of security.
2 weeks after the 9/11 attacks, NATO Special Forces raided the charity's offices in Sarajevo.
Are you saying that you have evidence of Al-Qaeda's activities here in Bosnia?
Yes.
We've spoken to another senior officer involved in the raid, who described the material they uncovered as very disturbing. A hard drive with maps of military buildings in Washington, information on how to fake State Department badges, and before and after pictures of the World Trade Center.
The scope of the evidence, the number of people with terrorist connections who were affiliated with this organization, the amount of money that flowed out of it undermines the notion that it was a purely legitimate humanitarian organization. There was certainly something else going on.
documents filed in court confirmed that the Saudi High Commission was an official arm of its government which provided a third of its funding. And that the charity's president throughout this period was a man whose face now hangs over the streets of Riyadh. At a time, Prince, now King Salman. And Saudi media reported he visited its offices in Sarajevo a year before it was raided.
The Saudi High Commission was linked to radical individuals who, in several different instances, were allegedly involved with Al-Qaeda. That suggests to me a questionable sense of judgment about what the drivers of terrorism are historically have been. King Salman could or should have done a better job in exerting oversight over the organizations in which he was chair.
Okay, never mind.
The Saudi government has said that none of its agencies knowingly provided funds to Al-Qaeda or other terrorist groups. There is no suggestion King Salman, the royal family, or senior Saudi officials knew about or were involved in the alleged support for terrorism at the Saudi High Commission. The 9/11 Commission said that although Saudi Arabia had long been considered the primary source of Al-Qaeda funding, it had found no evidence that the Saudi government or senior officials individually funded Al-Qaeda, but that this did not exclude the likelihood that charities with significant Saudi government sponsorship diverted funds to Al-Qaeda. Since 9/11, Saudi Arabia has wanted to show the world that they are tackling terrorism. They themselves have been the target of attacks, and they have passed laws to clamp down on private donations from inside the kingdom. They have carried out airstrikes against ISIS, and are now preparing for a ground war against them in Syria. They also deny Saudi Arabia supports ISIS.
So you think we'd be alright to go see a movie without falling asleep?
That it's the underlying Wahhabi ideology.
We'd be alright to go see a movie without falling asleep?
Maybe, possibly.
The ideology of ISIS is not.
I've finally beat Night 4.
In Saudi Arabia adheres to. Unless the Saudis deal with this issue, we are going to constantly fight.
Night 4 has been beaten. I'm not attempting Night 5.
ISIS.
Not just yet, at least. I'll save that for another broadcast.
With a different name, as long as they have this ideology that emanates from Saudi Arabia.